Hi, welcome back. This is the third video in our Quick Start training series. If you have not watched the other two, make sure you do that first. We have talked about creating new service masters, creating work orders, and a little bit about our company here at Reddi. They've been a little dry, I'm sorry. So today we're going to actually listen to a few phone calls that we've actually taken here recently, and that will probably give you a good idea of the kinds of calls that we get here at Reddi and our other companies. So. All of these calls are actual calls, so any personal information, of course, is only for our internal use here at Reddi. But let's go ahead and start with the first call. I think I'll break down the first call for you step by step, and then the other calls maybe we'll practice looking up the information. On the other calls, if you've got your Sawin login, you get logged in and hit F7, bring up your search screen again, and you can follow along and search for the address and those kinds of things. So let's start with the first call here.
Thank you for calling Reddi Industries. This is Brianna. How may I help you?
Okay, so first off, that is a very common greeting that comes from our script there. So you want to say thank you for calling Reddi Industries or whichever company it is, and then introduce yourself and ask how we can help. You'll notice on your desk phone that the company name will show up on the desk phone. So it'll say Reddi Industries, or maybe it will say Action Appliance, or maybe it will say Bailey Brothers. And that's how you want to answer that call. So if it says Action Appliance, you would say, thank you for calling Action Appliance. This is such and such, and how can we help you? And your trainer will explain all of that, and you'll be able to see that in real time as we go on.
Brianna, I have a toilet that keeps overflowing, and I don't know what's going on with it. I didn't know if I could get somebody out here to take a look at it.
Of course. And is that toilet the only one that's acting up? Is there any sinks that are backing up or anything like that? Is it just the toilet?
So that's a common question that we ask when there is a drain that's backed up. Normally, if there are multiple drains that are backing up, then it's an indication that the actual sewer line itself needs to be cleaned out. And if it's just one drain, like a kitchen sink line or something like that, they would just clean out the sink line, and they wouldn't have to clean the entire main sewer line.
We've just noticed the toilet.
Alrighty. Probably just the stool line is clogged up. We can definitely come out and clean that out for you. And what is your address?
It is 854 North Young.
So again, here we've got our search screen pulled up. For the address, I am going to go ahead and type out 854 and then North and the beginning of Young, just because I know that that one is in here. You might start out with just the 854. You'll see that it's going to bring up quite a big list of customers. So it might be difficult to find the customer that you're looking for. So you can try to type in more of the address and see if it comes up. If it doesn't, then just go back to typing in the numbers, and you'll have to find the address that way.
Alrighty. And what is your first and last name?
Ryan Human, Human.
Alrighty. And you said Ryan?
Yes.
Okay. It kind of cut out a little bit. I was just making sure.
Sure.
Alright. And is this the best number to reach you at?
It sure is.
Okay, and you'll notice that she asked if that was the best phone number. It's because it's on her telephone, so she can see his phone number, and you'll be able to see that. Normally, we might say something like that, or look at the phone number here that's in the system, and just verify that that's still the correct number. We can also verify things like the email address, ask if that's still valid. And actually, this billing address needed to be updated. So in this case, we would want to verify, that maybe this was the previous owner or something like that. So that is one thing we could improve on this call, but let's keep going here.
Alrighty.
And now one thing I do want to mention, you do want to try to minimize the amount of dead space that you have on your call. It's okay, especially at first, that you've got to, you're trying to type in the customer's information or the work order information. That's completely fine. It's okay. You might at the beginning want to just write down information and then later put it into the computer. We want to do that for as little time as possible. It's a lot faster to just type everything in as you're going, and then you can verify the information, like I said.
Alrighty, I will go ahead and send this over to dispatch, and she'll give you a call letting you know when a technician can come out, okay?
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Alright, thank you. Alright, bye-bye.
Okay, so that's a really good first example here. Let's open up that top work order, and this is the one that was booked on that day. Excuse me. So we see the problem description, the toilet backed up, everything else was running fine. We've got the customer and his phone number, and then we've got, let's see, clean stool line. That was the task that was chosen. That's great. We've got division 45. That's correct for sewer and drain. The service type here says sewer. You could also have chosen drain. In that situation, it would be fine either way. In this case, I would have chosen drain because it was just that one drain that was backed up instead of the entire sewer line. But that is a good first example here, so we're going to move on to the second. And you can practice along with this if you've got your screens pulled up, and we'll go ahead.
Thank you for calling Reddi Industries. This is Brianna. How may I help you?
Hi, Brianna. I was hoping to schedule a service call for our house. We have the smell of sewage that's been present for like over a week. It's not going away. And needing to find out if there's a leak that needs to get fixed.
Alrighty, we can definitely do that for you. And I plugged your number in. Is this Deborah?
Yes.
Okay, and you still live at 7507 East McGill Street?
Yep, that's correct.
Perfect. Okay. And have you located where the smell of sewage is coming from at all?
No. We can kind of smell it throughout the house. I feel like in most recent days it's a little more concentrated to like the downstairs, like the main level in our kind of master bedroom, maybe laundry area, but you can smell it throughout the house. Like it's even all the way over in the kitchen. Sometimes you'll smell it upstairs in the second story. So I haven't been able to locate exactly where it's coming from.
Okay. And do you happen to know where your main cleanout is located? Because it could be that your sewer line is full and the cleanout is what's releasing the smell throughout the house.
So again, excuse me, in the first video, I believe we talked about sewer line cleanouts. So that is a really good question to ask if the cleanout is located outside or in the basement. And we see that she did that here.
So I believe the main cleanout is in the basement. And I know you guys were out a couple months back because we had a kitchen drain that got clogged up, and they kind of cleaned out that area all the way over to all the way over to the main cleanout, but...
Okay, she mentioned that we had been out there recently, and we can see that here on her service master. We were out there in February. So we see that the kitchen sink was backing up. If you click this problem description, it will flip over and tell you the notes that the technician had. So looks like we did run the cable under the sink, and it's good to see that we can verify that also.
I might be saying that wrong.
Alrighty, then I will go ahead and let them know that you haven't located the smell of where the sewage is actually coming from, but generally that means that your sewer line is clogged up and it's just releasing that smell throughout the house. So I'll go ahead and book this and send it over to Kelsey, and she'll give you a call and let you know when a technician can come out, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
And then is anything in your house backing up, running slow?
No, everything's actually working just fine.
Okay.
And we use, like, all the toilets and sinks very frequently, so there's nothing that's, like, sitting stagnant.
Alrighty, I'll make note of that, too. That way the technician can figure out what's going on out there, okay?
Okay.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for calling.
Okay, so that again was a good call here. We can open up the service call that was booked, and we see there was a smell of sewer throughout the house. We've got the note in here that the cleanout's located in the basement. It looks like here we've just got clean miscellaneous. That's a really good task to pick because we're not sure what's going on with the sewer smell. So again, that is the second call. Now we're going to move on to the third call here.
Thank you for calling Reddi Industries. This is Brianna. How may I help you?
Yes, I was calling about getting service for my air conditioner.
Alrighty, and what seems to be going on?
It is not running. The condenser's just sitting there buzzing.
Alrighty, we can definitely help you with that. I plugged in the number. Is this Father Matt Marney?
Yes.
And I'll show you real quick. I don't know what his address was or the phone number, but she did mention that his name was Father Matt Marney. So if I go to the last name here and type in what I think would be the spelling, I do see that actually there's two of them. He's got a couple addresses in here, so you can look up that way if you get in a pinch and maybe you don't have the address or couldn't hear it. So there's just a few different ways you can search there.
And you still live at 4411 West Maple?
No.
And so that's a good question to ask in this situation because he has two addresses here. So to ask, are you still at this address? That's a good way to determine, what the correct address is.
No. Okay. What is your current address?
1206 Harvest Lane. And that's Goddard 67052.
And is this the best number to reach you at, Father?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. I will get this all booked in and send it over to dispatch, and they will give you a call letting you know when a technician can come out, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So we'll open up this call. We see here that it says ODU, which is outdoor unit, is not running and humming. We have the note here about, it looks like he has some services to attend. You could also put that down in the special instructions so that the dispatcher can see that we wouldn't want to schedule anything around the 3:30 time there. Our division is 65, that's the HVAC division. And our service type, again, is HVAC. That's the heating, ventilation, air conditioning. That's what the HVAC stands for. So that's all good on that one. Okay, now let's go to a couple more here.
Reddi Industries, this is Jessica. How can I help you?
Hi, I need to see about scheduling a backflow preventer and water system startup.
Okay, we can definitely get that taken care of for you. Have we been to your property before?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And are you just needing the annual backflow test, or are you needing it to be rebuilt?
Just a test.
Just a test, okay.
Okay, so for sprinkler systems, they require, the city of Wichita requires that you have a backflow preventer that keeps the irrigation water from backflowing into the potable water, I believe is correct. But the backflow preventer has to be tested every year, and it has to be rebuilt every 5 years. So those are questions that you can kind of learn to ask as you go along. We hear that the customer at first was a little vague and said they just need the backflow preventer. So she verified they just need the test and not the rebuild.
And what's the address for service?
3590 North Forest Ridge Street, Wichita.
Okay, for April Phelps?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Now, to do both the startup and the test, it is $105. That's $85 for the startup, and then that's $20 for the test. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then when the technician does come on site, he will collect with cash, check, or card. What I do from here is I'm going to get your information over to my dispatcher. They will give you a call back to see when we can get out there. If it's not by today, I would think by Monday.
Okay, so we do get very busy in the sprinkler season, so we sometimes will let the customer know that it might take a little bit longer to get a call back on sprinkler system startups. That's especially true in the probably between March and May or June. We've been very busy this season, but normally we'll just want to tell them that we'll get the information over to the dispatcher and let them know that we'll be calling them. Since we're so busy, we did give the customer a heads up that it might take a little longer than normal, so that's a good thing to do.
For day-wise that I can put in here, or are you pretty flexible?
Just first available.
Just first available? Okay. I will go ahead and I'll put this in there. And looks like we have a phone number, 516-0487.
Yep.
Okay, and then an email of tanksae@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I will go ahead and I'll get this put in, and we'll be back in contact with you as quick as we can.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was a sprinkler system. It looks like just for we've got startup and annual tests, so every year we start up sprinkler systems and get the water running and make sure they don't need any big repairs or anything like that, and then we test the backflow. So that is an example of that one there. We got one more call here that I want to show you.
Thank you for calling Reddi Industries. This is Brianna. How may I help you?
Hey, Brianna. Hi, my name is Phyllis Petty, and I need a service call on our garage door.
So since I am in Reddi Industries company right now and I heard that it was the garage door, I would go ahead and exit, change company, and go down to door. We've got the password DOOR, and then we can keep going here.
We've used overhead door for years, and there is the rubber strip that needs to be on one side. It needs to be replaced. It's torn, ripped. It's beige color. I mean, you would have a record of that probably as far as our door. So we need a service call.
Alrighty, I can definitely do that for you. Just give me 1 second
Great.
to change over into
Okay,
your
no.
overhead door system.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alrighty, and is your address 10014
Yes.
East 19th?
Correct.
Alrighty.
And you
said
it's like the rubberized strip that needs to be replaced. It's ripped. I'm thinking, I could probably glue that, and cannot.
and it's the seal at the very bottom, is that correct?
No, it's on the side. It's on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, on the side. And you know what? While we have him out there, we might as well go ahead and do a normal service like you would oil and grease. We might as well go ahead and have that done as well. Just I know the larger garage door seems a little. I know it makes a squeaky noise, but you know what? If they're going to come out and replace that strip, they might as well just go ahead and do a normal service.
So for garage doors, we do normally service them by greasing, lubing the tracks and the wheels so that the garage door opens and closes smoothly. So that's kind of what she's talking about there.
Alrighty, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Make it worth their while to come out and do that, because I don't know what the other one, the strip is going to entail, but maybe we just might as well go ahead and have a service call on the doors as well, just to have them oil and greased or whatever they do.
We can definitely do that. And
Okay.
is this the best number to reach you at?
Yeah, 239-4794. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Then I will go ahead and send this over to Ashley at the dispatch, and she'll give you a call
Okay.
letting you know when a technician can come out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so that's just a few of the kinds of calls that you'll get there. It's a pretty good example of the kind of customer service response that we want to have. You want to be pretty energetic. Try not to sound too bored throughout the day. But that was some good examples there. The only other kinds of things that you might want to know just as you're getting started is that you might receive phone calls for other departments. So if somebody's calling to say, "Could I talk to your accounts payable?" Then you'll need to transfer that to accounts payable. They're the ones that pay the bills out to other people. Or if somebody says, "I need help with, could I talk to your accounts receivable?" or "I need a statement emailed," that goes to accounts receivable, and that's where people owe us money. So that's receivable. We're receiving the money. You might also get some phone calls for, maybe for a specific dispatcher or something like that. So just your trainer will show you how to transfer calls and make sure that we're just still being polite and as we can, just let people know that we'll transfer them or we'll take care of the issue that they have. So So those are the examples I wanted to show you. You'll get a lot more of those, a lot more, varied kinds of calls that you'll get, and you'll learn more about the kind of services and what to listen for. So that is all for this video. Thank you.